Welcome to Free Remind Reviews. This is Chris Johnson with a review of The Gentleman. So, The Gentleman is the latest film from Guy Ritchie and his first gangster movie in a long time. I think since Rock and Roller, because I think right after Rock and Roller, he got Sherlock Holmes and he did the two Sherlock Holmes movies and the underrated Man from Uncle. Shoot, I even liked King Arthur. Yeah, I know, I'm crazy. So what? And then he did Aladdin right after that. So, The Gentleman is not only a return to the genre that he made his name on, really, with Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch. It's just a return to form in general for Guy Ritchie. Because for me, even with liking some of those movies, this is his best one for me uh, since Snatch. I have a massive love for Snatch. Uh, Sometimes even with Seven and Fight Club, I sometimes feel like my fandom for Brad Pitt really started with Snatch, and then my fandom for Jason Statham started with Snatch to the point that I'm like, oh my god, what the hell when he started doing action movies. And growing up, when I thought of gangsters, when I thought of mobsters, I think of Scorsese, I think of Tarantino, and I think of Guy Ritchie. And yeah, I would it would never be in my wishes to tell someone, oh, just stick to what you know. So I wouldn't do that, especially considering I would have lost a couple of films that I really liked if Guy stuck to what he did best. But I gotta tell you, I gotta admit, it's just great that to see that he still has it in this genre. So The Gentleman stars Matthew McConaughey as this big, powerful face in the drug industry, but he's very specific towards weed, how he grows weed, how he distributes the weed, the quality of the weed. That's what makes him so powerful, and also that honest to goodness Matthew McConaughey charisma and the connections he's made along the way in England. And while trying to get out of the game, his life is thrown for a loop by the presence of a younger criminal in the world of drugs, trying to get his piece of the pie at the expense of McConaughey. So right off the bat, just like Snatch, just like Lock, Stock, just like Rock and Roll for me, this movie's hilarious. Hilarious in that really witty, oh shit, no holds barred British way that I honestly adore. My mom loves the BBC side of British content. I love the Guy Ritchie side of British content, and then we come together with Harry Potter. You know, I this thing is so fun, so fast paced, so unruly. It's not like, oh, it's 20 years later, he's doing another gangster movie, he's softened up a little bit. Nope, not at all. This is still the guy who made Snatch. The movie may visually look more like Kingsman in terms of the lighting and the production and the costumes and stuff, which makes sense because Matthew Vaughn was Guy Ritchie's boy back in the day, right? And probably still is. Um, but definitely from the edit to the pace, the edit with the pacing, from the dialogue to the witty back and forth between all the characters, this is definitely Guy Ritchie gangster. And the cast is completely along for the ride, completely delivers. From Matthew, when I think of Matthew McConaughey, for some reason I'm not thinking mob boss first. I don't know, because he's so cool. But that coolness really adds to this character's kind of calm, dominate the room charisma, and then it goes into when he starts to get actually angry and needs to put a foot in somebody's ass. It's still believable. Charlie Hunnam is his right hand man. I've always been a fan of his with Sons of Anarchy. Didn't really care about you go online and you see the fans always talking about uh, accent slips. Never really bothered me because I thought he was just a really cooler than the other side of the pillow, engaging presence as Jax. And basically, pretty much what he brings that I liked. This guy's almost like this character is almost like a cooler, calmer, smarter version of Jax. Don't cross him. Don't cross him, buddy, because a lot of people seem to mistake intelligence for weakness or calmness for softness. And this is a great character in showing that's not the case because if you this guy can do everything that he says he can do, but maybe he prefers not to. Maybe he prefers to go the other way, but don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. You cross him, that's your ass. And I really feel like Charlie nailed that. Um and Henry Golding's very believable snot nosed little shit as Dead Eyes, the main villain of the film. Hugh Grant steals scenes in this movie. I'm not gonna say what his role is. I don't want to. Just let the movie carry you with that one. This is Hugh's at least the second film I think with Guy Ritchie because he was in The Man from Uncle. Um, and to see him here with this little Cockney accent, and he's so fun to watch. And the rapport between him and Charlie Hunnam in those scenes is just fantastic. Um, Big shout out again to Colin Farrell, who is one of the supporting players of this film, who gets thrown into this situation between McConaughey's group and Golding's group, and basically we get to see the In Bruges Colin Farrell. And if anyone's ever really seen In Bruges or even Seven Psychopaths, but especially In Bruges, and can see how great of an actor he is and how funny he can be too, that guy shows up in this movie. It's like Colin Farrell's always been a guy where I feel like movies don't use him as well as they should, at least in America. Um, so it's really cool to get to see him in this high profile movie with this big cast and this name director, and to see him show everything that he is made of and everything that he can do, especially considering he's going to be the Penguin and Matt Reeves' the Batman. And Colin Farrell's always been kind of like one of those guys like Robert Pattinson, where I have to remind people, no, these guys can act. Maybe they haven't been in the best movie, maybe, but don't take this movie and judge him by judge his talent by that film, because that wouldn't be right and it wouldn't be smart. Uh, this thing was just firing on all cylinders. Guy shows just a complete command of this genre, of these characters, of this story, of the tone. When it gets serious, it gets really serious, and it needs to. When it's funny, it's absolutely hilarious. Um, Seriously, I think like I said, I think it's my favorite of his since Snatch. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Love when he does gangster movies. Loves when he goes full Guy Ritchie, and that is what The Gentleman was.